Hello and welcome to another edition of WION World of Cricket. It is time for the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy. And the first semi-final sees India take on old rivals Australia. I am Vidur Kathuria, and along with Nikhil Mathur, we will set up this mammoth clash in Dubai. Nikhil, thank you so much for joining us once again. India versus Australia, always a big occasion.
Yes, and India and Rohit Sharma have a score to settle with Australia. Of course, it is not a World Cup final, but it's still an ICC tournament and a semi-final at that. So India can get some sort of redemption for the heartbreak in the final of 2023 ODI World Cup.
Well, lots to talk about, and obviously the first thing that comes to mind, as Nikhil mentioned, is that 2023 ODI World Cup final. But Nikhil, do you think this is actually revenge? Are the stakes as high as they were last time out?
I'll be very honest, I don't think the stakes are that high as of a ODI World Cup final, because ODI World Cup has a different charm. ICC, it's still an ICC tournament, but Champions Trophy, an ODI World Cup and ODI World Cup final is at that level, and ICC semi-final, knockout Champions Trophy, somewhere down there. But Vidur, some sort of redemption definitely. At the end of the day, it's a cricket match. It's between India and Australia, and India would definitely want to end up on the winning side.
Of course, after that heartbreaking defeat for India in the 2023 ODI World Cup final, India did get the better of Australia in an ICC tournament. It's important to remember that during the T20 World Cup in 2024. But different format, different circumstances. This Australian team is very different from what we saw in the 2023 ODI World Cup final. Of course, a host of players missing, but as we have discussed earlier, this is Australia in an ICC event, and once again, they have proven that they can mix it with the best. So far, so good for them.
Yes, of course. Pat Cummins, their talismanic leader, is missing. Mitchell Starc is not there. Josh Hazelwood is not there. So frontline bowlers of Australia are not there. And there are a couple of 5-6 injuries as well. You know, Stoinis retired. But still, as Vidur pointed out, that Australia, it's an ICC tournament, and Australia, irrespective of what side they are fielding, they are one of the best. They peak in ICC tournaments, especially knockouts. We have seen that. And right now, the toss is happening.
Yes.
And Steven Smith and Rohit Sharma.
From the middle, and Australia have won the toss and elected to bat first in Dubai. So once again, the streak continues for Rohit Sharma. 14 straight tosses that he has lost. But the good thing is that so far he has lost 3 tosses in the Champions Trophy, and India have won all of those 3 matches. So far, so good. But once again, I mean, this is an incredible streak.
Yeah, in fact, I remember the last time when India-New Zealand match, during the India-New Zealand match, Rohit Sharma lost the toss, and Dinesh Karthik was there as an official broadcaster, was teasing him that you are not bringing a good luck. But irrespective of that, I think the pitch, I think it's a new pitch in Dubai. A lot of people are saying that it's a home advantage for India, but as Rohit Sharma said in his pre-match conference, Dubai is not India's home ground. Of course, they are playing their matches there, but they also don't know which pitch they are going to play on. And today, I think it's a new pitch. They have played 3 matches on different pitches, but of course, it is going to be a turning track. That's what we have heard so far.
Well, I think here we have the ODI rivalry, India versus Australia. This is, of course, the all-time record. Australia obviously leading. They have been, well, the best team in ODI cricket without a doubt. This is the overall record. But India, I wonder how the record will be in ICC events, which we will take a look at right now. And there we have it. Again, Australia ahead, but not by much. India have won 7 out of 18 total matches. 1 no result. So of course this would be extremely skewed if we would look at it till about, say, 2003 or 2007, when Australia were completely dominant. But after that, many matches come to mind that India have won. 2011 ODI World Cup quarterfinal, 2023
World Cup, they defeated India in the group stage matches.
Yes.
India-Australia was the first match. An interesting comment by Rohit Sharma at the toss. He said, I was prepared to do both. When you're confused, it's better to lose the toss.
Well, that's a telling comment, because India on this pitch, they have batted first and won the game. They have chased and won the game. So India have all their bases covered in that sense, because of course it is a different pitch, but they have been based in Dubai, so it will definitely help the Indian team. And I think so far India have won 3, I would say, different kinds of games. And against New Zealand, they were tested at times, but ultimately, once again, their bowling came good.
And comprehensive victories.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of them.
And, as we spoke about, the tick box, in every game, India has added a player to someone who is now in form. Shreyas Iyer, we saw him get runs, and it's actually a great comeback for Shreyas Iyer, who was not given a BCCI contract last year, but he finds himself very much in the thick of things and scoring runs. So I think it's good news for India, and so far they have all their bases covered.
Yeah, and if you can have the playing 11, I think it's definitely a turning track, because India have stuck to the same playing 11. This means that Harshit Rana misses out, and Varun Chakravarti, who did exceptionally well in just his second ODI, makes it to the playing 11. And interestingly, with Australia as well, Copper Conley comes in for Short, who was injured and has gone home, and Tanveer Sangha comes in for Spencer Johnson. So that's another spin option that Australia have. So they are also going to be spin heavy, but I don't think whether Australia can match, or for that matter, any team can match the spinning prowess that India have, the four-pronged spin attack. And I'm going to go out and say that India are favorite to win this match, just because of the condition that they have and the squad and the flexibility that they have.
Yeah, this is the perfect time to take a look at the Indian 11 there. As Nikhil mentioned, a very, very strong team. Spin, he mentioned the spin prowess that Australia has, but once again, no change in the Indian 11 as we expected. A settled team, and most of these players that we see here, at least all of them have at least had one good game in the Champions Trophy, which is very important.
And I think this is, and I'm going to tell you why this side is not going to lose to Australia and what happened in the ODI World Cup, simply because of these two players, Akshar Patel and Hardik Pandya. I think if India had Akshar Patel and Hardik Pandya in that final, they would have, scored more runs. So I think India have a plan B this time. If the top order fails, which has in quite a few knockout ICC matches, I think Akshar Patel and Hardik Pandya provides you that flexibility. In fact, we saw Akshar doing really well against New Zealand. He took some balls but then gave the charge, and they have assured, Gautam Gambhir and the think tank have assured that Akshar Patel is going to bat at number 5 irrespective of the situation. So you need that kind of backing. And as Vidur pointed out, I think we are seeing the best number 4 batter at the moment in ODIs. Shreyas Iyer, I think he has an average of above 50 and a strike rate of above 100. I think only 7 or 8 batters have that kind of statistics. So I think Shreyas Iyer, he has been in tremendous form, and I think this looks a formidable unit, and hopefully this time they can trump Australia.
Just another word during Nikhil spoke about the 2023 ODI World Cup final. I mean, Surya, there we have it.
A lot of Indian fans don't want to see this scorecard.
But again, so we take a look at India's innings. Now, this is what made the difference ultimately. Surya Kumar Yadav was criticized heavily after that match. Rohit Sharma gave India a good start. KL Rahul scored 66 runs, but in how many balls? So he did not score at a good pace. So ultimately that cost India. And Akshar Patel, obviously his average won't be as high as the other top batters, but what he can give you is that finish in that 35 to 50 over period. And of course he can contribute as well when the team is in trouble, as we saw against New Zealand when Virat Kohli got out. India were sort of reeling at 3 wickets down, and Akshar Patel came in and made the difference. So
also, if you can get the scorecard again, the wicket columns, if you see, they don't have any of those bowlers except Adam Zampa. There's no Mitchell Starc, there's no Pat Cummins, there's no Josh Hazelwood. But India,
no Jasprit Bumrah.
Exactly.
And no Mohammad Siraj.
Everyone is talking about the Australia pace attack is not there, but India are also without their premium pace bowler, the all-time great Jasprit Bumrah. And if he couldn't do it at that time, I think so. A lot is riding on Mohammad Shami. And there's this one man, Travis Head. He has inflicted wound after wound on India across formats, across continents, be it the World Test Championship final, be it the Border Gavaskar Trophy, or be it the ODI World Cup final. He has been in that thorn in India's crown, if I may call it. And Vidur, what's the way to get him out? I think the best way is you get Travis Head out early, then you have a chance.
Absolutely. It's very important that you brought it up. Unfortunately, for Indian cricket fans, we have to bring up the 2023 ODI World Cup final again, because he got well, I mean, I don't want to call it luck because ultimately he went on to score a century, but it was very streaky. His innings was very streaky in the beginning. There were at least 3 to 4 occasions where Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah almost caught the outside edge of Travis Head. And let's be honest, if at that time they were 3 down, another wicket would have fallen, it would have been a completely different story. But this is Travis Head. Complete credit to him. He went on and capitalized and then won Australia the World Cup. But we keep talking about the 2023 ODI World Cup final. Nikhil, he was the player of the match in another match. Which was that? Do you remember? The World Test Championship final.
World Test and even Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Absolutely. So he has been absolute nemesis.
Heels,
the
yes,
definition
nemesis
of a nemesis for Team India, that is Travis Head. Another point, he was also the man of the match in the semi-final of the 2020. That wasn't against India. But so this shows you that he's a big game player.
And Vidur, you're forgetting the match that India defeated Australia, the T20 World Cup. He was playing well. He scored some 43 runs. He was threatening to take the game away from India. Like, Travis Head is that bull and India is the red cloth for him. If he sees India, he's just charged up and to do well. And in fact, he does not have the best of the technique, if you might call it, you know. But I think the best way to get him out is Mohammad Shami going around the wicket, firing in, targeting that off stump and hoping to get some swing
away from him.
Yes, away from him, maybe in the air, and if the ball is doing off the pitch, I think that's the best way to get him out. I was watching a couple of videos. Naveen Ul Haq, in fact, got him out the same way. He went round the wicket, fired in towards the middle off stump. The ball did something in the air. Once he took Travis Head's off stump and again he edged it to the keeper. So I think it's early to get Travis Head out. That is going to be a big advantage for India. But Vidur, is there India have a plan B if Travis Head, you know, manages to play out Mohammad Shami's starting overs? I think Varun Chakravarti is another guy you can look on. He has been bowling well. He has a lot of variations, the mystery spinners. He has carom ball, he has a googly. And in fact, the faster one, which he got Mitchell Santner, it felt like it came with the seam and took the Santner's off stump.
Well, definitely, I think Travis Head, if he wants to score big runs, he will have to play very, very well and against a diverse array of Indian bowlers, because Varun Chakravarti right now, he's in a rich vein of form and he seems very confident. There's a different way he goes about things. He's very meticulous in the way he approaches it. He's almost got a very academic approach, and kudos to him, because remember, he was almost made the scapegoat during the 2021 T20 World Cup, where India did not reach the knockout stages, and a good 3 years at least, he was not in the team, and now he finds himself amongst the wickets. So obviously he has worked on his bowling and he has worked on that carom ball. He has a different grip as well, which I saw a lot of experts were discussing his grip and how he played tennis ball cricket and how that helped him really. So right now, he, of course, we in the media like the term mystery spinner, but certainly he is one that is difficult to pick for batters right now. So he will be he could be a huge X factor for Team India, as he was in the match against New Zealand.
But Vidur, we have spoken about Travis Head and how this generation of Indian cricket fans are like traumatized by the innings that he has played against India. But we have grown up in the 90s.
Of course.
You know, they just have Travis Head. If I remember the 90s team, you know, there was Matthew Hayden used to open. If you get Hayden out, there was Adam Gilchrist. If both the openers are gone, there was the skipper, Ricky Ponting. If Ricky Ponting is out, there's this Damon Martin. He used to time the ball with so much of ease. I've never seen him, you know, putting any effort. He was effortless. And then if somehow you get these 4 guys out, there used to be a man called the OG chaser. Michael Bevan used to come and he used to finish matches. So there were 5 or 6 players that, if you ask me, that have traumatized me, because they were so good and they used to do so well against India. Now they just have to deal with Travis Head. But imagine the team of the late 90s and the early 2000s. They had a lot of match winner. This side probably don't have that kind of match winners, but again,
well, it's a good time to take a look at the Australia playing 11. Of course, not the kind of names that Nikhil was talking about, but you know, these kind of wins, they make players. So again, if this Cooper Connolly, Josh Inglis, who has been amongst the runs Alex Carey, Glenn Maxwell, well, he is someone who definitely...
No one is talking about him, but he can single-handedly take the game away. Vidur, who do you think? Our graphic says, you know, that Steve Smith and Travis Head, we have put them as openers, but Travis Head is definitely going to walk open. But who do you think? Are they going to go for Josh Inglis, maybe Alex Carey, or do you think Steven Smith, we all know that he loves to open?
Yeah, I think Smith, again, in a big game against India, I think Smith is the one who will open. But the good thing is that Josh Inglis, he has been amongst the runs, so he will be confident enough to open against this Indian attack. I think what is good about this Australian team is they're also very flexible. Steve Smith can open, he can also come at 2 down, where he plays in Test cricket. So, I mean, Marnus Labuschagne, again, he is another player, by the way, who we haven't spoken about. He was there in the 2020 ODI World Cup final, scored a very important knock. And he always a very busy cricketer. He's a very busy batter, always amongst the runs, always talking as well. He's also into sledging, which makes the game fun.
Yes. Yeah. And also, if you see Adam Zampa, I think Adam Zampa and Adil Rashid are two of the most underrated spinners that I've seen in ODI cricket. I think they deserve a lot of credit. Adam Zampa has been Australia's ace spinner for quite some time now.
And he's a bit under the radar. He was the highest spinner, wicket taker in the 2023 ODI World Cup.
And he has taken he has gotten Virat Kohli, if I'm correct, 5 times. Yeah. He has got Virat Kohli out, Rohit Sharma 4 times, KL Rahul 4 times. So he knows their weaknesses, and especially Virat Kohli used to bash spinners earlier in his career, but now, especially against leg spinner, he has been struggling. And this Cooper Conley, new guy in the side, can... most of the Indian players have not played him a lot. Ben Dorcius has been bowling really well. Tanveer Sangha, again, I think he's a leg spinner. Again, a new inclusion in the side. And Glenn Maxwell can also roll his arm.
So, yeah, and the thing about spinners is, as we were speaking about Varun Chakravarti, new spinners who you haven't faced, it takes a lot of time to, you know, be able to, quote-unquote, figure them out. So this is a huge trump card for Australia, that they have these spinners who India haven't faced yet.
Yes, and 5 spinners if you count Maxwell as well. And, you know, if it's a turning track, you don't know. Even Glenn Maxwell, the odd one, will turn and will put Indian batters in a difficult position. So I think both sides have good spinners, but I still think that the flexibility and the prowess that Indian spinners have, Australia can't match that. But if there's any team that can stop India at the moment, I think it always is Australia.
Absolutely. Like we speak about Real Madrid in the Champions League. So Australia at ICC events are like Real Madrid in the Champions League. And they have a way that they go about things. I mean, almost doesn't matter what kind of pressure. Obviously, they don't have that much pressure in this tournament. But they seem to be going about like in a very business sort of manner, where they just game by game they're approaching it, and as like any other game. So it will be the same this time around. And I mean, obviously I would say India is like favorites, but it won't be a complete shock if Australia win with this team as well. And you know, if we took a look at the Australia 11, but they also have experienced players. We see obviously the likes of Travis Head, Steven Smith, Glenn Maxwell, who can literally turn up. You don't know, like 10 games he'll score 0, and then 11th game he will score a double century. So Glenn Maxwell is like that. He's a freak of nature, as has been said by Virat Kohli on multiple occasions. So I'm expecting a very, very good contest between bat and ball.
And I wasn't rating this Australian side when the squads were announced. I said, if you're missing your 5 or 6 key players, it's difficult to be competitive. But they have shown, I think Josh Inglis has stood up and scored some brilliant half centuries and centuries as well. And Alex Carey has come into his own. So both are wicket keepers, but have stood up. That is what makes Australia different. Vidur compared them to Real Madrid. But that is what the players stand up when it is required. You don't need big names. They will stand up on the biggest of occasion and make a name for themselves. So very strong and formidable side. But I still think the Indian spinners will spin a web and Australia will be caught in that.
Well, now we've talked about Australia quite a lot. Time to talk about India a little bit. Virat Kohli, you know, there were question marks over his form going into the Pakistan game. Of course, he scored a century. Did not quite repeat that innings against New Zealand, but he was probably at the receiving end of one of the great catches we have seen in any ICC tournament. And, you know, Glenn Phillips, again, everyone seems to be talking about him, and rightly so. That was a phenomenal catch. But Virat Kohli against Australia, do you think he has a big innings coming?
I think so. I think Virat Kohli, in fact, he has played well. This is going to be 301 match. But I think I miss the old Virat Kohli who would give you that assurance. I think Virat has scored centuries. He scored one in the Border Gavaskar series in test matches. That was a test match in ODI also. But Virat Kohli of the old was he had a different swagger. Rohit Sharma as well. So I think I'm waiting for that Virat Kohli inning where India are in a precarious spot and Virat Kohli comes and, like he did after he scored 100, that I am there. I need to see that kind of inning. He has scored centuries, but those have come in relatively easier conditions. Of course, the last match wasn't difficult, but you know the standards that Virat Kohli have set. Those are pretty high. I haven't seen that kind of inning.
They had almost
exactly.
He was averaging, unprecedented.
He was averaging 15 T20s, Tests and ODI at one point of time. So, of course, that was a different kind of Virat Kohli, but I am expecting him to bail, if ever India is in a precarious spot, to bail India out and be that chase master that he has.
And I was just going to say that India, remember, are chasing. So Virat Kohli, known as the master of the chase.
Yes.
What better occasion than against Australia to once again show that he has not left he still has that chase touch left in him. Nikhil, we have to speak about this. Might be a slightly controversial topic, but we don't want to get into the politics of it. But obviously, certain people have questioned the fitness of our captain Rohit Sharma, India captain Rohit Sharma. Where do you stand on this debate? Do you think that during a tournament like this, people in India should be questioning the fitness, or do you think the timing was off?
I think he's scoring runs. He has won you an T20 World Cup title. He led you to an ODI World Cup final. So I think his bat is speaking for himself. Of course, they are fitness standard, and you know, cricket is a different game. If it was football, you have to run your heart out. You don't have to. I mean, of course, there's a fitness. He is slightly overweight. I'll be pretty blunt here, but is he in any way affecting India's performances? I don't think so. Of course, he dropped that catch when Akshar Patel was on a hat-trick, but that has not got to do a lot with fitness. And I don't think this should be an issue. And of course, BCCI selection criteria. I remember there was this one time, this yo-yo test, which was a compulsory thing during the Virat Kohli era. It was a compulsory thing. So if you want to be a part of the Indian team, you had to score a certain number in the yo-yo test. But so far, that condition is not there. So Rohit Sharma is there on his merit. He's playing well. And we have Inzamam Ulaq for that example. I don't think anyone would call him fit, but he was a beast of a player. He wouldn't get out. And Rohit Sharma is fit. We have seen he's taken good catches. He's agile in the field. Of course, he can definitely get more fitter, but he is on the wrong side of 30, if I may call it that.
Yeah.
And I don't think these things should matter. I don't think it will affect him. I don't think Rohit Sharma would care. He would say in his Mumbai style, I don't care about it. I will go and score runs. So that should be the focus.
Absolutely. I agree with what you said, Nikhil. I think this is an unnecessary topic that has been brought up at the moment. He is scoring runs. And fitness, once again, obviously you should laud Virat Kohli for the way that he maintains himself, because that is the way that he has kept up his levels over almost 15 years now. But, you know, we forget about the previous generations of Indian cricketers that we had who did not like to field, who did not, especially when you compare the cricketers now that we have to the previous generation. Obviously, the fitness levels now are very high. But as you said, cricket is different. Football is different. Each sport requires different levels of fitness. And I think, as you mentioned, as long as he's captaining the side, as long as he finds his place in the 11, as he's scoring runs. Remember, his place in the side was questioned just a few months back in the test team. But I don't think that's got anything to do with fitness. You know, you score runs, you're in the team. If you're not, then, you know, ask question marks on his form when he's not scoring or when he's not doing well for the team. Other than that, as long as he's able to perform his role. Remember, he's not even a fast bowler, where, you know, he needs to be running in and bowling like 150 kilometers per hour. He does not bowl. He, as long as he can stand and field well, which also, of course, he dropped that catch, but he's a
Rohit Sharma
able fielder.
He's a good fielder.
He's a good
if
fielder.
You talk about the 4 or 5 good fielders,
that as long as his fitness is not affecting his running between the wickets or his batting, I don't think there should be a problem.
If you ever talk about Rohit Sharma, I think we should talk about the way he has changed his game. He has given that aggressive start to India on numerous occasions. He doesn't care about centuries. In a lot of matches, Rohit Sharma could have slowed down and completed his century, but he has said that, one batter needs to go out there with a lot of intent. And he does that. He has in fact changed his batting style at this time. He doesn't need it to. He could have promoted someone else or could have said to Shubman Gill to take the aggressive route, but he said, I am the skipper. He made that change in the ODI World Cup as well.
Absolutely.
And he goes from ball 1. So that is the kind of changes, that is the kind of sacrifice that you need to make as a player for your team. And that's what he's doing. He's leading from the front and he's scoring runs. So I don't think anything other than that matters. When his form, as Vidur pointed out, when his form dips, question him about his captaincy style, question him about the way he's getting out, question him if he's not getting runs. And of course, fitness is important. No one is denying the fact. We want the nation to be fit. We want the world to be fit. But it is a different topic at the moment.
Yeah, and also the timing of the comment when your team is in the middle of a ICC tournament and when you are in contention, especially when you're playing the final, the comment was unnecessary. But
yes.
Of course, people have the right to bring it up. We are just
minutes away from the match also.
Absolutely.
But one thing that I really like about is during the ICC tournaments is the national anthem. As a kid, when I used to watch these players standing hands in hands like this and the national anthem would play, I would get goosebumps, and I'm still getting goosebumps. I think that is to represent your country in front of a stadium, full stadium with billions watching you on screen. It gives you a different kind of an adrenaline, a different kind of a moment. Be it any national anthem, be it Australian or Indian, it gives you a different kind of a...
Yeah, some of us have been lucky enough to be inside the stadium. So you can just imagine what the players would be feeling like. Just being inside that stadium with the atmosphere, thousands of people just with the clear focus of joining in. That is a different atmosphere, and it's almost a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Well, the first ball is just a couple of minutes away.
Vidur, that's an interesting move. So Travis Head, and if I'm wrong, Connor is coming out to bat with him. So Cooper Conley,
so
a lefty.
As we were discussing, Stephen Smith has not come out to open. That means he will come 1 or 2 down. Yes, Cooper Conley is the opener. So once again, an unexpected move from Australia, which, who knows, could help them. Well, Nikhil, it's time for the final word. What is your prediction for the match?
As I said in the beginning, I think India are the favourites to win this one. Who are you playing? And also, it is Vidur's birthday, and my man is in studio to give you the coverage of a high voltage clash. So Vidur, birthday boy, which side are you walking on?
Well, I would like to believe that I'm going to be right and India will win this contest, but I want a good cricket match. That's what we want. That will be the perfect birthday present for me, a good contest. Well, as always, thank you so much, Nikhil, for joining us. That's it for right now, but we will be back for the post-match show with the result of India and Australia. Do join us then. Keep watching WION World of Cricket.